Good morning, everyone. It's November 11th, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, and I decided to give you a little update. I've been finding a few more things I think it's important that you guys know in what's going on today. I know that Pennsylvania has now been taken away from Biden, where they once had him winning it. Now they don't. So you won't hear that on Fox or CNN or any of the other crappy news places. You probably can get that more information on that from Newsmax, AON, or just doing some searches on your own. If you guys, Google really isn't very reliable. If you're going to Google things to check information, if it's conservative and it goes against the left, Google has been putting that type of information way in the back, so it's not going to be on the first few pages. So it's tough to Google information, to get right information right now. So you can try other. There's the search engine I use is called DuckDuckGo. Some of y'all may have heard of it before, but it's pretty legit, and it's like Google used to be as far as how information is presented to you, and it's not being censored that I know of. So anyway, it's good news about Pennsylvania. Also, I know 10 states, attorney generals from 10 different states, and Louisiana's one of them, so that's good, have put together a case against the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. If y'all don't know, just before the election, Pennsylvania Supreme Court changed the rules, and those rules that they changed said that they will allow votes to be counted up to 3 days after the election. Well, that goes against our Constitution. Okay, so that the Supreme Court can't do that. That jurisdiction lies with the legislature in each state. So Pennsylvania's legislature can change that, but their Supreme Court can't. So it's really these 10 attorney generals are trying to get that fixed for us. So that's good. And in Pennsylvania, I believe their legislature is Republican heavy, whereas their Supreme Court is Democrat heavy. Go figure. In fact, their justice is an anti-Trumper. Surprise? I'm not. So anyway, that's good news. Nothing as far as the fraud that I explained to you guys, that they have affidavits now. They have, I don't know, how many did Kaylee say, or someone said they've got like 50 sworn affidavits of witnesses that have witnessed the fraud going on in different places, and they swore to it, signed an affidavit before the court, so they're willing to be witnesses in these cases. So that's good news too. But the fraud's still going. They're still blocking people from watching the counts that they have left. They're still counting when they shouldn't be, finding ballots. They're all Joe Biden, which we know is not legit. But look, I was listening to someone last night, and for the life of me, I can't remember who was reporting this, and I'd like to give him credit, but I can't remember because my brain sucks. But he did broke this down in like some of these swing states, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. So y'all kind of might have to get a pen and paper out, or just listen. I'm going to tell you. And we did a comparison from 2016 the election in 2016 to the election in 2020. So we checked the population growth. Say Georgia in 2016 had a population of 10.3 million. In 2020, that population went up a little bit to 10.6 million. So they had 300,000 new people in Georgia. However, their votes from 2016 to 2020 increased 957,000 more votes in 2020 than in 2016, with only a 300,000 population increase. So that's these are starting to get to where you're statistically impossible votes. Let's check Pennsylvania. In 2016, their population was 12.78 million. In 2020, their population was 12.7 million. So they actually were down 80,000 people in 2020 than in 2016. However, in 2020, they had 781,000 more votes than they did in 2016. 781,000 with less people to vote. All right. Let's move on to Wisconsin. 2016 pop was 5.773 million. 2020 pop 5.86 million. So they increased 87,000 people. Just 87,000 people. However, their votes in Wisconsin went up 453,000. So they had 453,000 more people voting in 2020 than they did in 2016, with only 87,000 population increase. So where's all this extra votes coming from? Michigan. This is a good one. 2016 population 9.951 million. 2020 population 10 million. So Michigan increased their population by 49,000 from 2016 to 2020. But they increased their votes to 887,000. So they had 887,000 more people vote in Michigan than they did this year than they did in 2016. 887,000. That's just... Anyway, Arizona was the last one. And you guys can check all these numbers. I know you can Google it. That kind of information is easily accessible on Google. I know I said DuckDuckGo, but that's if you're wanting to find truth and information. Google will give you all these numbers if you want to verify it. Arizona's 2016 pop was 6.941 million. 2020 it was 7.4. So they increased their population by 459,000 people. However, they had 856,000 more votes in 2020 than they did in 2016. Amazing, huh? So this is just some of the things that when you start looking at numbers, you can see that there's something weird going on, something fishy going on. Numbers don't match. That's just another side of it. And now I understand that more people registered to vote, but not that many. You can't tell me that 887,000 more people registered to vote in Michigan than in 2016. 887,000 when their population didn't even increase but 47,000 people. So, you know, that kind of stuff needs to be investigated, and I'm sure they're going to be looking into it. But it's just more proof of the fraud and the numbers. Because I know a lot of you guys out there are like, well, you know, what are we going to do? You know, they already counted these votes. The United States Supreme Court told Pennsylvania they needed to separate all the ballots that came in after the 3rd, after polls closed, and secure them And from what I understand, a lot of those weren't. They were thrown. They were disappeared. But Rudy Giuliani actually came on yesterday, a little press conference, and said that they have records of most of those. Not all of them, but a good majority of them, so they know where they went, who they went for, and things like that. And they're also looking into the down balloting, which I spoke of yesterday. So this is all working out. I know North Carolina's gone to Trump. Now Pennsylvania. We're still counting in Arizona. Arizona has a ton of I think that was Nevada, has a ton of out-of-state voters. But it's still kicking along. So y'all keep the faith. I think I'm going to start this start a YouTube channel. So I give y'all reports every day until I get better resources, like, you know, good laptop and some microphones and things like that, where I can share information with you, so you don't have to just take my word for it. You'll be able to see it on the videos. Until then, you're just gonna have to listen to my handsome voice, my kunas. I can talk like a kunas if you want me to. Yeah, I'm a real kunas me. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Just think about those numbers. Tell your friends about them. Keep the faith. We got this. Like I said, they already have all the proof. They have plenty of time. If they run out of time, and they just have to call it because they can't get all the information in. From what I understand, that will go in Trump's favor because of the people that are in place. So if they just have to call it and on a vote, then that's also a good thing. So don't worry about running out of time. Honestly, I would like to know how much fraud there was anyway, complete from top to bottom, state to state. I know that's going to be almost an impossible task because they have to audit everything. Audit, which means they have to go over every vote. Now, if it was done in a machine, and that machine didn't have that hammer and that software in it that they're saying is glitches, if it didn't contain that, then they could pretty much count on those if you physically went up and punched buttons in a machine. I know a lot of places, though, they didn't have that option. They had to fill out a ballot and then give it to the people. And so y'all heard about the Sharpie incidents that were going on in Arizona, and don't let the mainstream media fool you. That is a thing. It did happen. I've seen many reports on it of people complaining, people talking about not wanting to use the Sharpie, but they made them use it. The news will also say that the machine doesn't reject the Sharpie when they put it in there, but that's not true. It does. There might be a few instances where they get it through where it looks like a ballpoint pen because it's not all absorbed. Someone puts a lot of marker on it, it's gonna, with a Sharpie, it's gonna bleed. So they're fixing that. Trump now, if I understand, is gonna start going around the country rallying again. So that's good. I wish he'd come down here, but I believe he's got a bunch of evidence that he's going to be showing people at the rallies, like death certificates. People who voted, of course, he has to get permission from the people's family before he can mention anybody's name in public. So he may just show numbers and death certificates and that sort of thing. But I think it's going to be a pretty good rallies from what I understand, because he knows he's won. He's not worried. We have the evidence. Everything's overwhelming. But unfortunately, our mainstream media is they're going all out for the left. Fox News, all of them. I mean, Fox News, Kelly McEnany, which is President Trump's press secretary, had an impromptu press conference yesterday. And so she was talking about what they found and what was going on. And Fox pulled the feed. right in the middle of her talking, and the guy that was reporting in Fox says, oh, well, you know, she's talking about fraud, and we can't verify if there's no proof, and she doesn't have any proof that there's any fraud, and we, you know, we can't verify that, so, you know, we can't show you that in good conscience. Isn't that funny? They can't prove it, and there's no proof, so they're not going to let her talk and show you. Yet there was report after report after report, even Fox, on this Russian collusion crap that they didn't have any evidence for whatsoever. Never found any, but they continued with it. So that just shows you how corrupt that they are. Also, I suggest if you guys want to get real news updates, you're going to have to go to you know, online to do that. You know, I told you about Newsmax and OAN, I'm sorry. But there's also some really good independent journalists that have millions of followers on YouTube or Rumble. YouTube's been censoring, but they're still on there, like Dan Bongino. I look forward to his every day. He's great. And others. The TatumReport.com is a good place to get accurate, up-to-date truth. TatumReport.com. That's Brandon Tatum. He also has a YouTube channel. He used to be a police officer, so his stuff's pretty legit. Of course, Candace Owens, you know about her. You can get good stuff from her. And there's many more. If you want more, if you guys want to start following some smaller accounts like I do, let me know, and I'll shoot y'all all the people that I listen to daily that I respect, that usually give pretty good news. So that's my report for today. Like I said, I think I'm going to start this new channel and start giving reports. And as soon as I can, I'll incorporate a laptop into it and figure out how to do it from that, and show y'all evidence and stuff that I have as I talk. That's what I when I watch these people on YouTube and stuff, that's generally what they do. They talk about stuff, and as they're talking, they're showing you the numbers and the articles that you won't see on the mainstream media, things like that. So it keeps you a little bit more up to date and not so depressed, because if you're just listening to the mainstream media and you're a Trump fan, a conservative, or just a proud patriot, knowing that this election was so corrupted, and you're sad because it looks like they're going to get away with it again. No, they're not. And I'm going to say this one more time, okay? This was allowed to happen. They knew the fraud was coming. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were going to have fake ballots. I told you fake ballots were going to cause a mass problems. The Democrats even said, you know, acted like they were going to win ahead of time by saying different things. So they knew it was going to happen, but they let it happen this way, you guys, so everyone can see how our elections have been screwed up and how they've been unfair for decades and decades. That there was always a person that the deep state wanted, the cabal, whoever, in power. And this goes from the bottom up. This can go from governor to Congress to Senate, president. You know, they do that for all those seats. There's a few Republicans that have found the same type of fraud that we're seeing in the presidential race, in their race, where they lost to a Democrat but should have won, but they did this same kind of vote switching with the software. So all that's going to be resolved also. But you had to see how bad it was. You had to see how determined they have been to make sure Joe Biden wins. All the different ways they went about it. The smallest, from the smallest people up, you know, doing things, ballot harvesting, going into nursing homes and registering people against their will and filling out their ballots to Joe Biden all across the country, every county, every parish. I think Louisiana did pretty good. I'm not sure if they were too concerned about us down here. They did more of these in these big states like California. Look, the Oregon, the election commissioner in Oregon on the 2nd, he came out and said that third during the election, that there was something fishy going on, that the counts weren't adding up, and he got fired in Oregon for saying that. So you know, it's not just the big swing states. It's every state: Oregon, California, Washington, all the swing states. They tried to do it in Texas, but there was too many conservatives for them to get it done. They tried to do it in Florida, but we got way too much. Trump got way too much support from the minorities, the communities in Florida that normally sway Democrat went Republican. Way too much for them to overcome. And like I said last time, the reason that they saw this was happening everywhere, they're like, oh crap, we don't have enough cheating in place to overcome all the people that are voting for Trump. So that's why they shut down the counting, because they needed to know how many people were going to vote for Trump in each state, in each county, so they knew how many ballots they need to overcome in each state, each county. That's why you saw President Trump's lead in Pennsylvania, which was almost 800,000 when you went to sleep, practically gone when you woke up. It's crazy. So that's it for today. Hope y'all all have a really good day today. Be safe. Thank God and thank Jesus for everything that you have, and for blessing this country and giving us Donald Trump. And if y'all have any questions or anything, you can leave comments on here on YouTube. I'll try to answer them. If you go to my channel here on YouTube, I'll try to answer them the best I can. Or those that know me, you can text me or private message me on Messenger or whatever. All right, y'all. Where we go one, we go all. Peace.